Is the world quietly slipping into chaos? Just in the past week, we've seen Poland shooting down Russian drones, Israel striking inside Qatar, Nepal's parliament set on fire, and a former Brazilian president convicted of crimes. Different regions, different crises, but they all point to the same troubling question. Are we entering a world without rules? Let's start in Eastern Europe. On September 10th, Poland confirmed it had shot down several Russian drones that entered its airspace. This is a NATO country, directly intercepting Russian military hardware, something that, under the old rules of geopolitics, could have triggered an international crisis. But here's the striking part. Moscow shrugged, Warsaw stood firm, and NATO quietly backed Poland. The takeaway? The old rule of avoiding direct confrontation is breaking down. Then in the Middle East, on September 9th, Israel carried out a strike in Qatar, targeting what it claimed was a Hamas-linked site. But Qatar is a sovereign Gulf nation, and one of America's closest allies in the region. A violation like this would normally spark a diplomatic earthquake. Instead, it's being brushed off by some Western partners, leaving Gulf states furious and questioning whether borders mean anything anymore. Meanwhile, Nepal has been rocked by its deadliest unrest in decades. More than 50 people were killed after a social media ban ignited massive protests. Angry crowds stormed parliament in Kathmandu on September 9th, forcing Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to resign. Now, for the first time in history, Nepal has a female prime minister, Sushila Karki, sworn in under emergency conditions. But the bigger story? A government ignored democratic rules and paid the price in blood. And then there's Brazil. On September 8th, former President Jair Bolsonaro was convicted on charges related to corruption and electoral manipulation. To his supporters, this looks like a witch hunt. To his critics, it's long overdue accountability. But the bigger question is, do rules of justice still hold when global politics is increasingly defined by strongmen and populism? For regions, for stories. One theme, the rules that defined global politics for decades, respect for sovereignty, non-intervention, democratic norms, are being broken, bent, or ignored. Whether it's superpowers crossing borders, governments silencing citizens, or leaders undermining institutions, the message is clear. The world is testing what happens when rules no longer matter. So here's the real question. If the old order is collapsing, who sets the next rules? Will it be Washington, Beijing, Moscow, or no one at all? And if no one does, how long before chaos becomes the new normal?